in a world.
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz, Alfonso Durante, Matt Atchity, Christy Lemire will be here for the rest of the movies this week, but we begin with a movie that only Alonso and I saw, In a World.
I was going to say, you better say it right.
Yeah. Lake Bell directed, produced, starred in, and wrote.
Yes, she did indeed. Lake Bell stars as a young woman who, sorry, my camera, as a young woman who wants to be the first female voiceover narrator for trailers. Her father is one of the kings of the business. She's a dialect coach. And when a movie studio decides to bring back the iconic In a World, she's up for the job, but so is her dad, and so is this guy who might be her new boyfriend. Take a look.
Let's face it, the industry does not crave a female sound.
Yeah, Dad, you made me painfully aware of that my whole life.
Not being sexist, that's just the truth.
Let's give the voiceover industry something to talk about here. What do you say?
Sorry, I got carried away there.
So we saw it in a small screening room, and I was, because you know you have the Alfonso Durante laugh. Is, the Alonso laugh is you know it.
I've been told that. Yes.
Yeah, and I didn't hear it a lot.
I like the idea of this movie, and I like a lot of the ideas in this movie. I mean, I feel like Lake Bell had a lot of stuff that she wanted to bring to the table about women in the industry and about parents and children and about married couples and about just sort of funny observations
women
about
and language.
Yeah, women and language, women and how they communicate to the world, and you know, and I feel like she kind of threw them all in there and then filmed the first draft. And I kind of feel like there's all these great individual bits of the movie that don't cohere at all, that don't really add up to anything. Not that they don't add up to anything substantial, but they just don't flow with each other. The pieces don't fit. She kind of dumps storylines when they're getting interesting or never quite finishes them off. It's the kind of movie that literally just feels like it finishes rather than it ends. Like, it doesn't feel like any sort of great culmination was reached. But within that, there's a lot to like. I liked her performance. I like a lot of the cast. I mean, she gets really dramatic stuff out of funny people like Rob Corddry and from SNL, the woman who plays his wife, her sister.
Oh, right. What's her name? She's fantastic in it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to have her momentarily. Michaela Watkins.
Michaela Watkins, yeah. Thank you.
Rob Corddry and Michaela Watkins, right. You expect them to be sort of, I don't know, like most Saturday Night Live characters, but this is actually, they're funny, but it's rather, it's really dramatic.
And then, you've got, God, I'm blanking on names this morning. Ken Marino from Party Down is sort of the rival voiceover guy, and they set up an interesting character there and a potential interesting villain, and then just sort of fritter him away.
But I liked that he wasn't set up as a classic villain. He's an okay guy. He's just a schemer, and he's incredibly full of himself.
Right, but they didn't take that anywhere, I kind of felt. I thought they set up something, he would have been more than just a stock villain, but then they didn't do anything.
Well, the things I liked, because we set up this idea of a relationship potentially between Lake Bell and Ken Marino, and then but then there's the possibility of the other relationship emerging.
Right, with Demetri Martin.
Right, and will Demetri Martin be upset by the fact that maybe or maybe not she's been with the first guy? And that seemed set up for this giant cliche, and then they just sidestepped it, which I thought, I loved that part.
That was one of the things I liked. I liked how she's able to sort of, it doesn't have the usual kind of judgy stuff that you would get maybe in a movie not directed by a woman about this sort of thing. I like Demetri Martin a lot, which is because I hated him in Taking Woodstock, but I think he was really good here. I don't know. I feel like there's a great movie in here, or there's a great movie that could have been made out of this. I just kind of feel like it was rushed together. It's an ugly film.
I think
it was shot really poorly.
I think there was also a great movie that could be made out of this, and I think she made it. Okay. There wasn't, there were some false. Well, I hate to start then with a negative, but coming off that, there's a degree to which you could be affected by some false notes in the movie. There's one scene, because she's a dialect coach, she's always recording people's accents.
Right.
So she walks around with a tape recorder, an old-fashioned tape recorder, and at one point, because of two people having a fight, her sister and her sister's husband, she records her sister's conversations so she can then play it to the sister's husband and hopefully smooth things over. But she's like holding a tape recorder like right in front of her. Like everyone on the planet would see that. Like, so there were a couple things that were inartful, I thought, but they did not that wasn't enough for me not to enjoy this really from start to finish.
Okay, then they set up the relationship with the dad where he's never supportive of her wanting to do the voiceover stuff, and then like literally sort of sets out to sabotage her at one point, and then they don't ever really, he kind of says one nice thing in a speech and that's it. Like they never have another conversation. It's never touched upon again.
But that would have felt incredibly false. Like the dad is, the voiceover world, as we all know, the voiceover world is an incredibly insecure world.
It's
and so I liked, again, that they didn't, like the dad recognized, first of all, there's a nice twist with the dad's girlfriend.
Again,
so I like that. And then so the dad does a moderately nice thing, but he's still this sort of incredibly insecure, self-serving guy. No, he's not all of a sudden going to be a great father, but the sisters are a little more.
Nor did I want that, but
Right.
I'm just saying, I think that it felt like there was a scene there that really needed to kind of cap that off, that felt unsatisfactorily
I don't
resolved
disagree
to me.
with that part.
I don't know. I don't hate this movie. I admire Lake Bell for doing all this. It's a first feature that I think holds a lot of promise. I totally want to see her second movie. But I kind of feel like this one, sometimes when people are making their first movie, they jam every idea they've ever wanted to put into a movie in one script, whether it belongs there or not, and film it all. And I kind of feel like there were 2 or 3 different movies she could have made out of all the ideas she had here, and they might have played out better, given more space to breathe and more room.
Well, to wrap it up, because we need to go, but I just thought that here was a Hollywood movie that was, first of all, incredibly accessible to everyone, because
Sure.
it really mocks that voiceover world, and the fact that the voiceover people think that they're vitally important to the success of a movie. And they used Don LaFontaine, who's the great voiceover
Right.
guy who died a few years back, whose trademark phrase was, in a world. So it was the search for the new in a world person.
Yeah.
And Tig Notaro has like
She's
20
great.
lines,
No,
and she's
there's
great.
a lot of
and-
funny comedians in this movie, and they like.
But they're comedians, and they
play real
do
people,
some acting. Yeah.
Eva Longoria, who was Lake Bell's
Yeah.
co-star in Over Her Dead Body, pops up as herself and kind of has some fun with her own.
Gina Davis, studio executive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate this movie. I'm glad it exists. I feel like I feel like it's a very, very rough like ball of clay that hasn't been turned into a vase, but I want to see what vase she makes
I want to see
next.
someone make a documentary about those 6 or 7 guys that were like the top voiceover guys through the 80s and 90s. You know,
You'll like this then. This is almost.
we're gonna get.
No, I know, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
there's a clip that Don LaFontaine put together at some award show
Oh, where
where
they're
he
all
gets
in
them
a
all in a
limo? Yeah,
limo,
I've seen that.
right?
That's
And
really
then
funny.
there's the great trailer for
Comedian.
Jerry Seinfeld's Comedian.
Yes, that's all him.
Which, well, no, that's not Don LaFontaine.
That's not?
No, it's
That's
somebody
another
else.
guy? Okay.
But I think that would be. I think there's somebody go out there and make a good documentary about
What's
that.
the tomato?
84%.
Well, I'm at
in the world.
8.5.
I'm at 5.5. I think that like I said, I really want to see what she does next. I just don't think this quite delivers.
Yeah, this is good. You should go see it. And in the middle of the summer, it could. I'm sure it could use some help sustaining itself against the other big punchers. But whatever, you hate independent film. Everybody knows that.
7.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.